Hello everyone, it's Joe here from Draft FPL, and we are back with a weekly series helping you find some good value free agents and waiver pickups in Draft FPL. If you enjoy the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Game week 7, first double game week of the season. Bring on double game weeks, we love that here. Let's get stuck straight into the picks. First up then, Everton defence. Everton have got two fantastic fixtures, game week 7 and game week 8. Then their fixture run turns absolutely terribly from game week 9 all the way until basically the spring. So now is the time to jump on the Everton defence. Been very, very disappointing so far. No clean sheets. But when you look at the fixtures, game week 7 and game week 8 got to be their best chance so far. Luton at home in game week 7 specifically is definitely one to target. The man I'm going for is James Tarkowski. Just realised there's a slight typo in his name in the top corner. Just ignore that. Available in 71% of Draft FPL leagues, and that data is powered by Draft FC, as always, linked down below in the description. I think I'd rather go for a centre-back in this fixture, because I think, especially in the Bournemouth fixture as well, they've got a bit more chance. Tarkowski's great from set pieces as well, so he is someone I would be looking at. Available in 71% of leagues, as I said. If he isn't available, I'd probably look to Braithwaite. Sean Dyche basically never changes a team after they've won. It's been like that pretty much as long as he's been in the Premier League. When the team wins, if there's no injuries or suspensions, he keeps it the same. So I do expect the same 11 out in the Luton game that played against Brentford, and they did quite well, to be honest, so hopefully they can keep a clean sheet in this one, finally get some points on the boards. I know there's a lot of Pickford owners out there very frustrated, but this could be the week, I think, where they do quite well. The other plum fixture this week is West Ham at home to Sheffield United. Aguerd is the one I'm looking at, available in 90% of leagues. I'd also target Kurt Zouma. Again, Sheffield United, as we saw against the Newcastle game, are terrible at defending set pieces. All the Newcastle defenders were returning in that one. So I think it's a good tactic to target that again. Aguerd and Zouma are the main threat from set pieces, along with one other man, which you will see later in the video. So they're the ones I'm aiming for. I think they're on for a good chance at a clean sheet as well. So I think one of those two could spike a massive return this week. Zouma's also quite widely available. I think it's about 50%-ish off the top of my head. So either one is good. Zouma's probably the better pick, but not quite as widely available. So Aguerd, I think, is almost just as good. If you are looking to target the double game weeks, it's tough because Luton are not a strong team at all, but the fixtures are quite good. Everton away, Burnley at home. It's quite a strong double game week. If it was pretty much any other team in the league with these fixtures, I'd probably be tripling up, but it's quite hard to figure out the best options from Luton outside of Carlton Morris, and that's mainly because there's been a lot of rotation, and Rob Edwards has said that he is going to change the team and the system depending on who they're playing against, and I don't feel like I've seen enough of Luton to be able to figure out what that really means and what systems they're going to play against who. So it's quite tough. I up until about half an hour ago, I had this slide for Tom Lockyer, because I think he is certainly first choice when he's fit, but it's just come out that he is not fit, so he is definitely going to miss the Everton game, potentially Burnley as well. That probably means that Anderson, which is the most picked of the Luton defenders, mainly because he scored, who previously wasn't nailed, definitely not. I think he was probably the third or maybe fourth choice centre-back, but because he was covering for Lockyer, who was injured, he was getting a decent amount of minutes. So a lot of people picked him because he was the highest scoring, but actually he probably wasn't the best choice, because as soon as Lockyer was fit, he was out of the team. Lockyer now isn't fit, so does Anderson play both? Potentially, but Lockyer could be back for the Burnley game, in which case you only get one game out of Anderson. So I'd probably avoid that, to be honest, unless we hear that Lockyer's injury is serious. I think Amari Bell and Burke are probably the next best options. I think they're the most likely to play. I suspect Bell will play both. I would be shocked if he didn't start one of these two. The fullbacks are the most fun options. Sorry, the wingbacks are the most fun options because they're the most attacking. Kabore is attacking, didn't play in the Carabao Cup, well, didn't start. He did get subbed on and then made a big mistake to lose the game for Luton. So does that mean he doesn't start at the weekend? Not sure. I think he probably starts. I own him in FPL, actually standard FPL, and I'm going to play him because I think he likely starts both. I do think he's first choice, but there is rotation there. Giles on the other side, I think is a complete coin flip, to be honest. It seems like a complete 50-50 if he's going to play or not. So I probably would just avoid that. I think Bell is the safe pick, Burke is a reasonably safe pick, and Kabore is slightly less safe, but probably the next best option. But if he plays both, he is the best option. So bit more upside, bit more risk. After this game week, you want to dump them anyway. Tottenham at home in game week 8, and then you don't really want to be carrying Luton defenders beyond that. So it is definitely a 1 week punt, but I do think it's worth it. The fixtures are that good. Plus, even if they just concede 1 goal in both games, that's still 4 points, which is basically like an assist and a yellow card, which isn't that bad. So yeah, I think it's definitely worth picking one of them up. Looking at the Burnley side, I think Connor Roberts is my favourite pick. The fixtures are a little bit worse in their double, Newcastle away, Luton away, although they do play Luton. Burnley, Luton in the Championship last season, one of them finished 1-1 and one of them finished 1-0 to Burnley, so both were low scoring. I think there's a decent chance that there's a clean sheet in this second fixture for one of the sides, in which case you're on for a really big return because you also get those extra bonus little appearance points. I suspect the back four for Burnley over these 2 games will be Connor Roberts, Al Dakhil, Bayer and Charlie Taylor. There is a little bit of doubt over the centre-backs because Dara O'Shea was playing, but he then got a little bit of a knock, so he was out the side. But he played in midweek in the Carabao Cup where none of the others did. So does that mean he's now second choice? Al Dakhil and Bayer did quite well against United, I think, so I'd be surprised if they don't keep their place, but there is a little bit of doubt. Connor Roberts, I don't think there's much doubt over his place in the team. Charlie Taylor also as well was nowhere near the side come like the first few game weeks. He wasn't really in Vincent Kompany's plans, but they didn't sign a left back, and he is the only left back at the club. And they were playing so many players out of position to not put him in the team. He's now done quite well over the last couple of game weeks, so I think he probably will keep his place as well. So probably one of the fullbacks would be where I'd look to invest. The fixtures aren't great after the double, so I probably would dump after that. But if you are interested in one, I think I'd go for one of the fullbacks. On to midfielders then, and sticking with Burnley, I told you last week Koleosho would be definitely in this video unless he got an injury, and here he is, still available in 97% of leagues. I do think Burnley Burnley statistically at the moment are, I think, the second worst attack in the league, so it doesn't scream go out and get them, but it is a double game week. They do have Luton away in the second fixture, which is tasty from an attacking point of view, and I feel like they're not that far away from clicking. They've kind of got it figured out at the back and in the middle of the pitch now. It seems like the defensive side was a lot better against United. The midfield has been good the entire season. They keep possession really well. The last thing they need to do is turn that possession into chance creation, and it seems like they're on the way there. I think given a few more game weeks, this attack will start firing a little bit more. I think Koleosho is definitely the man that I would back to profit from that, because he is so exciting to watch. He's quite fun to own as well because he's constantly taking people on and he is getting into the box quite a lot. So he is probably the only midfielder from either side that I'm interested in for this game week. There's no Luton mid that I think is worth picking up. I kind of was looking at Tahith Chong, but he didn't play in the last game, so now instantly you can't pick him, I don't think. So that rules him out. There's no other Burnley mids that I think are attacking enough and potent enough that I'd be interested in, so Koleosho is the man for the double game week. Next up, Abdoulaye Doucouré, available in 95% of leagues, which is quite surprising considering he's had good fixtures, he's scored 2 goals, and his data is unbelievable. He's like in the top 10 for expected goal involvement, and deservedly so. I mean, he's almost playing as a second striker at the moment. With Luton at home, Bournemouth at home in the next 2, he's an unbelievable pick, and I can't believe he's available in 95% of leagues, to be honest. With these 2 fixtures, I honestly think he is a ridiculously good pick for those 2 games. As I said before, some people were concerned that he might be out the team and Beto and DCL will start together up front, but I just don't see it. I think DCL is going to be eased back into the team. But, you know, we know his injury track record. They're not going to want to rush it. And while they're playing well, Sean Dyche has no reason to change the team. I think Doucouré, in the position he's playing at the moment, I mean, he could have had a brace easily against Brentford. He hit the crossbar with a fantastic chance. So I'm really happy to have him starting for the next 2 game weeks. As I said with Tarkowski, the fixtures really turn after game week 8. So maybe after that, I'd probably look to get rid of him. But if he carries on playing the same way as he has been, you could probably carry him through the tough fixtures as well, to be honest. Next up is Rhys Nelson, available in 100% of leagues. Bukayo Saka has a knock and may well miss the Bournemouth game. I probably want to wait until the final press conference of the week, which I think is on Friday, to double check that Saka will miss out before I take the punt on Nelson, because there are a few different things that could happen here. Fabio Vieira could play on the right. Jesus could potentially even play on the right. I think Nelson is the most logical option, though, to be honest. And for Bournemouth away, for an Arsenal team that has looked reasonably strong over the start of the season, I think if he's going to start, it's a brilliant pickup just for that 1 week. Then you get rid for the City game when Saka will likely be back. Just on Saka's injury quick, I do think he probably will miss out if he has any kind of knock, because Arsenal have Champions League after the Bournemouth game, and then it's straight into City at home game week 8, and they're going to want him fresh for that game. So I do think there's a pretty decent chance Saka misses out if he's got any kind of niggling injury, because now's kind of the only time he's going to be able to get a rest, because I don't see them resting him in the Champions League or City at home, Chelsea away the week after that. So if he is carrying something, now's kind of the only opportunity. Next up then, the final West Ham pick that I'm going for this Sheffield United home game is Thomas Souček. Available in 91% of leagues. He does have a history of returns in the Premier League. He had that season a few years ago where he was kind of unplayable, and he's actually been playing really well. I was really impressed with him in both the City and the Liverpool games, and I think I've got no doubt that he's going to start Sheffield United at home. And I think from their set pieces, he is a real problem. We know how tall he is and how good he is in the air, and he's getting so many flick-ons and little nicks. I'm surprised he's not had more returns than he has already. So I think he's a really, really strong pick for this Game Week 7 fixture, and just someone that I'm more than happy to take a punt on for this week, because it just seems to make a lot of sense to me that he's going to do well against Sheffield. It's difficult because there are quite a lot of teams I'm happy to punt on this week, thanks to the double game week and a couple of decent fixtures. So it all depends how the waivers fall, whether I get Souček and whether I play him, but I'm more than happy to stick him at the bottom of the waiver requests, and if he comes in, I'm definitely going to play him. Final midfield pick from me is Jacob Ramsey, available in 83% of leagues. The fixtures for Villa after Game Week 7 are unbelievable. Even Game Week 7, you could argue, is a good fixture from an attacking point of view. Brighton at home. Brighton's defence has been poor so far, so for the attacking players from Game Week 7 onwards, Brighton at home, Wolves away, West Ham at home, Luton at home. Fantastic set of fixtures. Jacob Ramsey is certainly back from injury, came off the bench 2 games in a row. I'm waiting to see if he plays in the Carabao Cup this evening. I'm obviously recording this before those games. If he starts in that game, I'll probably bench him at the weekend. If he comes off the bench or doesn't play in that game but is fit, then I'll probably start him at the weekend against Brighton. If not, I'll have to wait until Game Week 8 potentially to start him. But I think he's a really good pick. This Villa team are good at attacking, and I think he's going to be an important cog now that he's back fit. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes Zaniolo's spot in the team when he is fit. So definitely someone I'm keeping my eye on, and someone that I will likely keep for the rest of the season if he stays fit, because we know what damage he can do over the last couple of seasons when he's been performing well. My only forward option of the week this week, I can't stop picking him in these videos. There's something I find just really exciting about him. Zeki Amdouni, available in 63% of leagues. As I said earlier, there's only a few attacking options that I'm interested in this double game week, and that's Carlton Morris, Koleosho and Amdouni. The rest are either not nailed or not interesting to me. So this is probably the best fixture he's going to have for a little while. Newcastle away, Luton away. It's not the easiest games, but I do think if ever he's going to get a return in a game week, he's not going to get much better chance than this. I don't mind him for Game Week 8 as well. Chelsea at home, I fancy them to do quite well in that fixture. Brentford away is tough, and then Bournemouth away in game week 10 is pretty good as well. So I do think he's much better than a lot of the other forwards on the market. He's absolutely nailed on. He's an exciting attacking player, and if Burnley can kind of get this chance creation issue sorted, I think he could do really well. Okay, that wraps up my picks for game week 7. If you enjoy the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want more information from me, more data, more analysis, then check out the Patreon in the link down below. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time.